Okay, guys, we're gonna talk about some of the meal prep stuff that we do and how we're successful around here. How we prep our meals, the difference between meal prep and bulk prep. The big thing here, guys, is if you have fitness goals, nutrition goals, weight loss goals, whatever it is, you have to be prepared. If you are not prepared or you feel like you don't have food ready for you, then you're probably going to reach outside your means and grab stuff to snack on, and that's just going to throw your nutrition all over the place. So we like to bulk prep here at the house, and we'll kind of talk about through what that looks like, the difference between meal prep and bulk prep. Okay, and how when we are doing it well, not saying that we're perfect at it, but when we do have like a really good routine and consistency going, kind of what helps us. Now, the one thing I'll say about like meal prep, food prep, things like that, guys, you're just gonna kind of have to, if you really are serious about your goals, you're just gonna have to get used to eating some of the same stuff. And if you can't handle that and you don't want to actually see the goals happen, then you're probably not gonna succeed because you're gonna go, yeah, you're not gonna stick with it. But if it's prepped and it's ready and it's good to go and it meets the macronutrients, then you're more than likely to stick to it and grab it and go instead of like sitting around waiting, wondering what it is you're going to eat. So I'm going to flip the camera here. Honey's got like some potatoes and chicken that we prepped. When we do bulk prepping, guys, we get all of our chicken, we get all of our potatoes, or we get all of our rice, and we just cook like one day. And she does it obviously better than I do. She does the majority of the work. But then we just weigh everything after. So a lot of times you can weigh your food cooked, you can weigh it uncooked. But what works for us is more of like cooking everything like you see here and then just weighing it afterward. Okay, now obviously we have our scale on grams. Okay, and so we know she's going to write on a sticky note here what the macro breakdown is. Okay, and then so it's easy for us when we go to Chronometer and we go to add that in, it's on the lid and we can just stick those macros into our lunch for the day, right? And you can do the same thing with the rice. You can do the same thing with the potatoes. Just weigh everything out. We got the potatoes
Still haven't
over
had
there.
like one meal left.
Yeah, we had one meal left from last week because we didn't do very good, obviously, or probably me. But we are just showing you kind of how we weigh things out. Now, you can do like one meal prep, and that would be like the chicken that we have over here, right? That's raw. We could weigh that out, which actually that probably weighs pretty close. Yeah, and then you would cook it, and then you would put it in the thing, obviously, but you would write down what it is raw, and then put it in one meal, and then you're good to go with your macronutrients there. Okay, let me grab your phone here and pull up your Chronometer app. Now, go ahead and click add there. The thing about Chronometer is too, guys, you have to log your seasonings and you have to log your sauces. You have to log all that stuff. So if we have this seasoning package here, she's just going to scan it, and then it'll come up to what the scan is, and then it'll show you the macronutrients.
Our seasonings have 0 calories.
Yeah, a lot of your seasonings are going to be fine. So
Sauces are not.
Sauces are not. A lot of people talk about how they don't want to eat the same thing. They don't like eating the same thing. They don't like doing the same thing. It's like, well, you're probably just not flavoring your food the way you want to, right? So if you look at the difference, ranch dressing, for example, much different in its calorie count. And now that's just 2 tablespoons, okay? So that can blow your whole performance out of the way, whereas a seasoning is not cost you any calories and it's going to give you flavor. So if you like seasonings, if you like all that stuff, like I think we've used taco seasoning before. We've used all kinds of stuff to flavor up our food because people all the time tell me, well, I get tired of eating the same thing over again. Well, use some seasonings, use some flavorings. You can use your sauces too. You just have to make sure that you're being careful and you're weighing them appropriately, right? If you're just like, I'm going to splash some ranch dressing on here, could be 30 grams of fat, and you're just blowing up your whole day right there just because you put too much ranch dressing on there. So you have to make sure that it's actually the right weight, or how much it actually weighs. Okay, another question that we got was, well, what about eating out? Okay, first thing that we'll say about eating out when you're trying to lose weight, stop. Okay, that's the baseline thing. Like, if you are eating out, that means you're not prepared, you're not making a plan, and if you're not making a plan, then you're going to fail. Okay, we understand that it happens periodically. Now, most of the services that you eat out at, you can find them on your app. So like your McDonald's, your Chick-fil-A, things like that are going to be on there. Now, like a local place in Castle here, you're not going to be able to find the macros very well for that. So the problem with that is now you're eating that food. We don't know how to log it. We don't know how it affects. We don't know how many calories we had. Okay. So you could probably find something similar on your app if you search all those ingredients and do it. That's a lot of work. So
How much oil was it cooked in?
yeah. Also, one thing that restaurants don't tell you is they put a lot of oil, they put a lot of butter, they put a lot of extra stuff in it to make it taste good. That's the whole point. And so we can't account for all that. So I would say if you're logging that stuff, go find similar foods on your Chronometer app and then add 500 calories. Probably. Maybe more. Okay? That's why eating out is so detrimental when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to performance, things like that. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying you or I do it. We're human beings. We do it as well. I'm saying if you have a goal, you have to do it less. Right? So maybe like once a week, try to live by like the 90-10 rule. 90% of the time you're on, 10% of the time you have that one meal. Also, when it comes to macronutrients, guys, we can't guess. We can't guess. We can't just hope and pray that it's going to work. We have to know the accurate data, or we don't know what's being put into your body. Okay. Last thing I'll say for all you adults out there that like alcohol and fat loss is a no-no. Okay, so if you want to lose weight and you're consuming alcohol at least 2 to 3 beverages a week, you're going to struggle losing weight when it comes to that. Okay, hopefully this information helped. Hopefully it will be useful to you. If it's not, please ask more questions about what we do. But get you a food scale, weigh your food, start prepping your meals, be successful.